Hate crime. Homophobic hate crime charges fall as reports soar. What could this be all about? What's going on? Is it the fact that the UK is turning into a hater of those that prefer to kiss the same sex? I don't know. Or is it just the stats being a bit funky? Or are people just a bit sensitive? There could be many reasons. Don't always look at something and think it is exactly what you think it is. You understand what I'm saying? Fewer people are being prosecuted for homophobic hate crimes despite rising numbers of potential victims coming forward, figures suggest. Recorded reports of homophobic abuse in the UK increased from 5,807 in 2014 to 2015 to 13,530 in 2018 to 2019. But during the same period, the number of prosecutions fell from 1,557 to 1,058, from 20% of all reports to 8%. The National Police Chiefs Council said that those cases often involved a lack of witnesses and evidence. It comes as police forces continue to call on victims to come forward. So what does that tell you? Or what does it say to you? That more people are reporting stuff, and therefore more cases are just sort of dismissed as going, Or is the justice system broken? I don't know, let's carry on. So look, reports of homophobic hate crimes have risen. That's reports, though. Reports. Think about, here's an example. Think about after 9/11 or after 7/7. Think about the amount of terrorist incident reports that were made of people just thinking that everyone was, everyone, unfortunately, probably with brown skin, doing something mildly suspicious, or not even suspicious at all, perhaps just having a backpack, minding their own fucking business. Probably reported as paranoia seeped through the Western world. Think about that. Was it all real? Think about also how, what constitutes an actual crime. What's an actual crime? And what's an incident that's worth prosecuting? Carry on. The figures have been revealed after BBC Radio 5 live investigations sent a Freedom of Information request to 46 police forces across the UK and received full responses from 38 forces. Data from Police Scotland, we just got one, is it, in Scotland? Police Scotland was only partial and was not included in the analysis. A hate crime is defined as any criminal offence which is perceived by the victim or any other person to be motivated by hostility or prejudice. Right. Well, Jesus Christ. We live in a times when people are completely losing their minds and they think everything is something that it's not. Consistently ramped up by media fear-mongering. And that, of course, probably incidents have increased. But if they're prosecuting less, then maybe that's a good thing. I mean, it's about time we heard that the police might be doing something good rather than, banging up dog lovers and stuff like that. A guy walked up to me and my friends and said, "What is this? The fat, ugly homosexual squad," says 17-year-old Lily Cherry from Woodseats in Sheffield. We reported it to the police, and they said they'd check CCTV, but nothing came of it. And what are they checking on the CCTV? Has it got audio? Because it's kind of what you said, right? Now look, break that down. A guy walked up to me and my friends and said, "What is this? The fat, ugly homosexual squad." And you reported that to the police. People coming up and saying mean things. If you took the homosexual bit out of it, then it's just someone being an arsehole. Throw the homosexual thing in there, it's a hate crime. Well, people will say all kinds of fucking mean-spirited things. In fact, people might say it and not even know you were gay. It's a bit different to racial abuses because, you know, it's kind of more obvious when it's racist abuse because most people have eyes, you know? And these days, people dress in all kinds of ways. So you can't really tell who's gay and who isn't these days, you know? Most of my gay friends, I have no idea they'd be gay just from looking at them. My cousin's gay. Both my cousins are gay. I've got 2 gay cousins. Brothers. Yeah, fancy that. They're own 2. Both gay. What are the chances? I never once would look at them and go, no, they're definitely gay. Because, you know, but if someone's black or you know, Indian, Pakistani, Chinese, you know, you can tell. You know, well, mostly. Not the specific, well, you can tell someone's specifically black or brown, and you say something referring to the colour of their skin, then you've got a different situation going on there, haven't you, really? And the thing is, people encounter this kind of abuse. You just, like, people are assholes by nature. People are mean. People have hatred in their hearts. You know, when I see someone racially abusing someone or abusing someone, for the people, like I've said this before so many times, that people will say just the meanest shit. Like, there's prejudices against all kinds of things. You could be a goth and someone will say something mean-spirited to you, do you know what I mean? And then what? We're going to have, like, you know, abusing goths is going to become a fucking hate crime? I mean, just pinpointing it out. Because it's different to people just saying mean stuff and being pricks is part and parcel of life. Like, that's what people are like. And if we're going to start prosecuting every motherfucker that's just says something, you know, someone who thought they were funny and said that, you know what I mean? Because then you got the fat. I mean, you could have fat rights. You can have ugly rights if you can define such a subjective thing. And when are you fat? After, like, saying, oh no, it wasn't a fat hate crime because actually your BMI is 1 point below what we consider to be a fat person. Or you could even be, well, you're not gay enough to be insulted, to have a homosexual insult. You're not gay enough. Like, where you know, what I'm saying is, it's like a court system that's, you know, that has its problems. Do we want to fill it with just idiots? Like, do we want to send more idiots to jail? Or can we just dish out justice ourselves? You know, and you're 17. Do you know what I mean? I think that the police and authorities should do more to protect people who are in the minority, and they should take it more seriously and in depth. No one hurt you though, like, you know what I mean? It's mean, and it probably didn't make you feel good. But at the end of the day, like, people going around and just saying stuff is not as serious as, you know, incidents that you get. You know, people be murdered for being homosexual, beaten. There's nutters out there who'll pose as a homosexual where there's cottaging, and then we'll beat them up. Do you know what I mean? There's people who are homosexual who will beat up other homosexuals because they hate themselves. These are serious things going on right now. This, I just gotta say it, it's like, yeah, it's bad, but like, do we need to be prosecuting everybody now? Are our jails not full? Do you know? Are our courts not overcrowded? South Yorkshire Police said it investigated this case, but due to lack of CCTV and other investigative opportunities, no suspects have been identified, and therefore a charge in this matter is not likely. Well, no shit. We take all reports of hate crime incredibly seriously and would welcome a further conversation with the victim in this matter to inform our learning of what? How to, like, hunt someone down. Two of the most dramatic rises in reports of homophobic hate crimes were experienced by Yorkshire's biggest forces, West Yorkshire and South Yorkshire Police. West Yorkshire Police has seen reports increase from 172 to 961 over the past 5 years, while South Yorkshire Police has seen reports rise from 73 to 375. Now look, a rise could be either one thing. More people are coming forward, reporting things that genuinely you can just brush off. Or it could be that people are just extremely hypersensitive now. And unfortunately, the alphabet community, as they are being fondly referred to these days, are like really becoming overly sensitive to a level where it's a lot of people are just skeptical of their intentions. I mean, people just starting to be like, all right, it's getting to that level at the moment, as if they are above, ridicule, above criticism. That any sort of criticism or any sort of comment or critique. Oh, criticism is critique. I don't know why I said that. I don't prepare for this stuff. I just talk. You know what I'm saying? I'm just really good at talking. It's my job to talk. It's good to talk. It's good to talk. BT. But they're just not doing themselves many favours at the moment. That's what I'd say. And this maybe this is part of this rise in hypersensitivity. This could be another reason. Or they could everyone's turning into Jussie Smollett and making stuff up. I mean, we don't know, do we? Or, sorry, we've got our own Jussie Smollett. Haven't we, Owen? Angela Williams of West Yorkshire Police said rising reports were in part down to improvements in the way we record crime and the fact that many victims have the confidence to come forward. The proportion of crimes that resulted in a charge or summons, however, fell over the same time from 19% to 4% in West Yorkshire and 10% to 3% in South Yorkshire. What, because there's not enough evidence to back up the claims? Is that the reason? Or are they like, because some of the reports that have come through, they've just gone, well, we got murders and rapes and shit to deal with, and someone said you're a pufter. I don't think that's it's just not. We just haven't got enough man hours to deal with all of it. These new figures will disappoint the LGBT community, but they will not be a great surprise to many. With pride parades regularly taking place in many UK cities, on the surface it seems like society is much more accepting of LGBT people living in their areas. You don't say. It's been legal for 50 years, for goodness sake. We have come a very long way. It's a very long time since you had the first lesbian kiss on British TV. This is fucking years ago now. Like, we were in the 90s, we were all fine. I don't know what happened. Apparently we're less tolerant now, even though we're more tolerant. It's just going insane, isn't it? In reality, however, every single day LGBT people across the UK are contacting police about verbal and physical abuse they experience just because of their sexuality. A number of abuse victims have told me the process of trying to evict their abusers has put them off. It depends on the abuse, doesn't it? They have gone as far as dropping their cases in fear of having to recount traumatic experiences. I'm sorry, if a lot of them are like that kid who sat in a park and some twat came up to them and just said something that he thought was funny, if that's the most traumatic thing that's happened to you, then hats off to you. You are blessed. Anyway, trips to police stations as well as calls and visits from police officers to discuss their LGBT abuse experiences can be daunting if the person is not actually open about their LGBT status. Well, how do they know you were gay if you weren't open about it? I don't know. They say that all too often it is difficult to prove that an assault was motivated by hostility towards the victim's sexuality or gender identity, so attackers currently get off with lighter sentences. Well, yes, that doesn't surprise me at all, because it's how you interpret. A lot of times, it's how you interpret someone's intentions and actions. Like it's like it just becomes a bit too subjective at times of what someone meant. And it's probably a better thing that we're not banging up everybody. Two of Britain's largest police forces, London's Met and Greater Manchester Police, have also seen an increase in the number of reported crimes. The Met saw reports rise from 1,561 in 2014 to 2015 to 2,315 in 2018 and 2019, while the number of cases that led to charges or summons fell from 246 to 165. Greater Manchester Police saw reports rise from 423 to 1,159, with the number of charges falling from 82 to 50. A Met Police spokesman said, many of these non-violent offences present less evidential opportunities and victims often feel that there is a barrier between bringing the matter to court and prefer to make the police aware of each offence. A spokesman for the National Police Chiefs Council said, unfortunately, with many cases, there are often no witnesses to these crimes and scarce evidence. This may lead to police being unable to identify a subject. Well, you don't say. Again. The Home Office said it was recruiting 20,000 additional police officers and investing a further £85 million in the Crown Prosecution Service over the next 2 years to ensure it can deal with cases brought by the police. Yeah, but can we deal with like all the stabbings and the rapings and shit? Can we deal with that? You know, kids getting diddled and stuff. We've already got massive problems with kid diddling not being addressed properly. We protect the children, please. Baroness Williams, Minister of Countering Extremism, said, oh, it's extremism now. Victims should not have to put up with the venomous abuse, and we will do all we can to support them. Do not give the police any more powers than they have at the moment, please. This is not what we want. I would urge anyone who is affected by or has witnessed homophobic abuse to contact the police. Partners across the criminal justice system and government are working hard to empower victims to report incidents and ensure perpetrators are punished. Just grow a thicker skin. Don't give the police too much power. And just you know, dish out your own justice, for goodness sake. We shouldn't have to pay for all justice. You know, you got some of these, learn to fight. Go on, be an hard nut. Nut him out. I don't know. You know, someone says something, someone says something rotten to you, say something rotten back. More rotten. Fight fire with hotter fire, if that makes sense. You know? You know? They come at you with a baseball bat, you bazooka their face off. Verbally. I'm talking metaphorically. I'm not encouraging any sort of violence here. I'm just saying, you know? It would serve us all a bit better, I think. You know, the bigger picture and all that. Come on. You know, next time someone just looks at you a bit funny, don't just assume the worst and call the police. Okay, we've got enough. We've got enough to deal with. Okay.